Unless you have any pointers about making the code run faster. Because there's that last hint about you'll get
on
more
this
points
one,
for runs faster.
on this one, he might want you to use the move multiple instruction.
Okay, well, let's go over that then, because I don't think I've used that very often.
Yeah, I got to remember the syntax myself. In practice, you don't hardly use it, but it's kind of a thing to put on exams that people do sometimes.
A kind of obscure knowledge that can be useful. That makes it shorter, if not that much. Actually, like, I mean, the logic is about the same. I would imagine it just runs in a few less lines. Add them together.
So there's, I think it's load multiple increment after. So if we have, say R0 has a pointer in it, right?
Sure.
So R0, and then you give it a register list. So we'll say R2 to, and we want 12 of them. So R2 through R14, right?
Yeah, that would work. Those are 12 consecutive.
So this will load from starting at this address into R2 through R14. And then there's store multiple.
It would be the exact same copy in each of the registers?
No, each of these would have the value 4 bytes separate, right? So R3 would have array +4, R4 would have array +8.
Oh, is that the increment after side of that? I got
you. Because the problem says 12 consecutive words.
Oh, okay, yeah, so the 4-byte word, I got you.
So then you can just do a store multiple increment after and do the same register list. So you could still do it the other way doing loops, but I think what he's talking about, the more points you get is using the load multiples and store multiples.
Yeah, that's going to take some looking up because that syntax.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. That seems something like
so
go implement it or use it in creative ways and just mess everything up.
Yeah. So load multiple, decrement before or increment after, or decrement after. You're usually going to use increment after. The pointer, the pointer inside a register, and then the list of registers. You can have R1, R2, R3, R4, or you can have R3 through R15, R14.
So it increments by 4 automatically?
Mm-hmm.
That wasn't something that you had to specify?
Yeah, because ARM registers are 32 bits wide.
Okay. That makes it easier. So you start with array in R2, and then it's array +4 in R3, and array +8 in R4, and so on and so on.
And it increments after accessing the current address.
Right. So if you
So
did
if I
increment
did
before, it
before-
would be array plus 4 into R2, the first one?
Mhm.
Okay.
but you want to increment after because the array starts at array.
Well, yeah, you would normally define it as a starting point, 4 points off of where you want to start. Okay.
So usually use increment after if it's pointing to the first location you want to access.
Yeah, and then you would do increment after for both the load and the store. Okay. That's pretty handy.
Any other questions from